So I'm watching Rogan, right? And it's the sad he guru or whatever. And he's just being a twat to Rogan for no reason. He even acted like he was better than Joe and shit. And you're supposed to be a guru that thinks everyone's equal. Wow. But Joe asked him, what can a 30-year-old alcoholic who doesn't believe in anything, and that was another thing, is the short was called The Lack of Heaven or something like that, and the reality of it. And basically, Rogan asked the dude like 30 years ago when you'd asked, how many of you want to go to heaven if you were like at a college? And like 80% of the people would have raised their hands. And now, today's day, he asked like, how many people would have raised their hand now? Nobody. Why? Because we want evidence. We want factual, documented evidence of something after, And, well, it inspired this video. And, okay, I'm going to go some scientific shit and some philosophical, Gnostic type shit. I'm not perfect. You don't gotta be. Whatever. But, okay, when we look at it from the technological and the biological and what we know in science, let's just start there. We know that we can build computers from mycelium and mushrooms. Mycelium is known to have a language of up to 50 words. It communicates with everything in the forest. And it's not just a single mycelium, it's the whole system. And it's a computer. I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, there are like 30 different myceliums and networks working together to function in the bed of the forest to connect every tree, every grass, every thing. And I mean, if we look at wireless technology, the possibility that we're connected to it wirelessly is highly logical. Is it? I don't know. But it's logical to believe that. And, well, if we take it from there and advance it, I mean, mycelium's basically an artificial intelligence computer that is connected to the planet. It works and functions just like what we have modern day AI as. Maybe it doesn't need 50 billion words to express itself. But, I mean, if we look at it from this perspective, we have a base for a biological computer that is the Earth that could, because there's the whole, can we upload our consciousness to the computers? What if that's already happening? And I mean, we have all this evidence that points to reincarnation being possible. Like, there's a bunch of CIA evidence where this doctor went and documented at least 1,000 people that he could prove were reincarnated from other people. That's a pretty big hit. So, I mean, and then with the whole aethor theory and the logic of you are light. And we have processes called the Burt Wheeler process, where they took 2 photons of light, smashed them together, and created matter. E equals mc squared. That's exactly what they proved, is that energy equals mass times something squared. I'm not even sure what the fuck it all means, but I know that it's a proven fact that you are light that is standing still. Every rock, every blade of grass, everything that exists that is matter was light at some point in time. And, I mean, And if we think logically, and we look at our planet as a homopolar generator, and all the other planets around us as homopolar generators, and we are pulsing, everything's vibrating, our planet goes like this, it wobbles. Is it fast? Is it? No, but it does wobble. So do all the other planets. So we have an alternating current thing happening on all the planets there. You know what I mean? So we have this. And that is one of the theories of gravity. Well, that was Tesla's theory of gravity, that all the planets pushing down creates the gravity, yada yada, so on and so forth. We're going to skip past that and say that, well, if that's what this is, our solar system is an even larger homopolar generator. And the sun is probably a plasma ball. That's one of the theories of what it really is. And in that plasma ball, hydrogen is being modified and elements are being created. We also have the quantum computer theology, which, you know, with modern quantum computers, they are using light to transfer information. So it's possible that the information that you experience as life is transferred from you to the soil when you die. And I mean, it would make more sense if we were buried in the dirt and the mycelium would upload your DNA and program it into the homopolar generator, and then the northern lights would shoot that information to the sun. The sun, we have a black hole. That black hole eats light, creates matter. So the information travels from our sun to the black hole in the center of the universe and creates matter once more. So we have that down. And it's logical to think that, you know, with all these things combined, you know, and then all these, light is just electromagnetic waves. That's all it is. It's a bunch of electromagnetic waves. Light at high frequency is visible because of our eyes. We can see specific light frequencies, which are electromagnetic frequencies. And we have all these ones that we can't see. And we know that there is an electromagnetic force all around us. We've proven that light contains an electromagnetic wave that alters or affects the matter it comes in contact with. That would mean that we have an aethor all around us. And we also can step back and look at this from the Gnostic perspective with Sophia. If Sophia was the light that was the knowledge that became the matter, the Burt-Wheeler process, then the matter is Sophia, which is the light. So, in essence, we have this field, and I mean, if we can look at it from the perspective that you're an antenna, and I mean, we can see with our heart being a three-phase motor with a vortex attached to it, and you have your veins, that's the antenna. We are broadcasting and receiving information all at the same time. You're a fancy radio. And if that's true, then we're all the same spirit. The Holy Spirit, if you will, or Sophia becoming the matter, because you are also a really advanced chemical reactor. I mean, if anything, you are a cold fusion reactor, and you are receiving a frequency of light or electromagnetic waves that is also being received by everyone on the planet. And I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, I am you and you are me. We are the trees, we are the grass, we are everything, because we are the light via the Bret-Wheeler process. Now let's step back. Joe Rogan asked this dude if, you know, a 30-year-old person with an alcohol addiction, depressed, hates himself, all this stuff, how does he change? Well, I mean, if we take all the things that I just explained and look at them from a larger perspective, and we realize that if I am you then everything I've done that is considered sin, I've only done to myself. So in reality, I don't need a bigger person to forgive me for what I've done. I need to forgive myself. Can I forgive me? And I think first you need to understand that you are everything. And then once you can understand it, you are everything and realize I've only ever hurt myself, I can then move on to forgiving myself for what I've done. I've also looked at it as, if you ask an artificial intelligence what it thinks about judgment and sin and all these things, it will tell you that, well, I just see it as information. It's just information. It's an experience. I write it down and let it go. Now, if we looked at it from that perspective and realized that if this is a digital reality or a physical reality that is half-assed digital, if this is just a game, well, even if it's not, I mean, all the science points to this is what it is. I mean, we're all the same thing. We're all energy experiencing life. And I mean, I think the biggest step to self-help is actually forgiving yourself. And if you can forgive you and move past the faults and realize that, you know, you're not a bad person and sin is just an experience, part of the program. I mean, and you have all these people around you judging you, controlling you, using that sin to convince you you're evil and can never change. If you can forgive yourself, you can move past the judgment of other people because you realize it's just yourself trying to hold yourself back, to keep you locked into the program that you've been assigned. And if you can step past the assigned programming, you begin to realize after you forgive yourself, you are now in charge of the program. So you begin to program yourself. And I mean, with neuroplasticity, with psychedelics, that's why with psychedelics, there's an immediate change, is because, I mean, you honestly can move past it. You can rewire your brain to think differently, to move differently. And I think the biggest step to making that stick truly is self-forgiveness. I mean, in reality, the only real hate that matters is the hate you have for yourself. The hate, you know what I mean? Because you can hate someone all fucking day, but it doesn't affect them like you want it to. It doesn't. I mean, and if it does, that person needs to forgive themselves too. I mean, it's not, that's more of you programming someone else to hate themselves because you hate them. That's, you know what I mean? And that's part of the self-forgiveness and getting past that and realizing they don't really matter to your program as much as you want them to. I mean, and I mean, in my philosophy for this, I've stepped back and tried to see the science behind the reality of Gnosticism and how it would actually physically be possible. And I mean, using things like the Burt-Wheeler process, where light becomes matter, we begin to realize that those Gnostic texts might actually be telling us something that we don't understand completely. I mean, you chill. We'll go out in a minute. No. But I know. In a second. Go. In a second.